Anti-prohibition forces say the issue is not over. Collections are being taken to fight the amendment.
American Radio Company announces a new line of radios aimed at the growing middle class.
Most business analysts agree the economy is still reeling from the end of government war spending.
Trading in Huron Railroad shares is abnormally heavy.
Holt's Motor now produces more Type L cars per week than it did in a quarter 3 years ago.
Treasury officials are promoting simplification of income tax procedures.
Market watchers are suspicious of speculative trading behavior in Huron Railroad.
Washington is publicly bullish on the economy, but privately is less optimistic.
Rapid growth of industrial material shipments may outstrip the capacity of Northeast transportation companies.
Pittsburgh Steel now ships 50% of its finished steel overseas.
Huron announces public offering of 500,000 shares, increasing outstanding shares by 10%.
Anti-tax movement is gaining steam. The 70% top income tax is very unpopular now that the war is over.
Chicago Transport has developed refrigerated trucks to ship fresh meat and produce from Midwest to Northeast markets.
Rumors surface that Jay Galt, the infamous robber baron speculator, is acquiring shares in Huron Railroad.
Consumer confidence is rising sharply, which should bolster retail sales. Jay Galt, controlling owner of Eastern Railroad, announces expansion plans to directly compete with Huron Railroad.
Economists worry that railroad expansion plans will completely consume existing stockpiles of finished steel.
The German economy is suffering under huge war retribution payments to Allied victors.
Officials fear tariff walls against American exports may raise.
"80 die in Huron Railroad wreck. The CFO of Great American Mail Order Company was among the victims.
Farmers are beginning to use trucking to transport fresh produce to market.
Senator Hitchens proposes plans to cover the entire nation with highways over the next 10 years.
The foreign government bond market is booming. New issues volume is up 260% this year.
Later this year, Congress is expected to lower income taxes and simplify filing forms.
Great American announces search for new chief financial officer.
National Highway Act gains steam and popularity as public works program.
Rumors swirl that Eastern Railroad's expansion plans are just market manipulation tactics by Jay Galt.
Railroads may undermine Highway Act behind the scenes and are rumored to be buying political votes. Great American announces the promotion of its VP of Finance to temporary CFO. Congress lowers income tax rates. Top rate of 70% lowered to 25%. Capital gains tax remains.
National Highway Act gains steam. Top military officials backing it for national defense value.
Analysts are unhappy with the temporary CFO recently installed at the Great American Mail Order Company.
New Russian government appears stable. The odds of a czarist counter-revolution appear slim.
Great American announces that its temporary CFO will be kept on permanently.
Congress passes National Highway Act. Coolidge will sign it into law.
Car dealerships expect strong sales growth from passing of the National Highway Act.
Industrial suppliers may be hurt if railroads cancel expansion plans due to National Highway Act.
Magazines proclaim the American dream will now include a vacation over highways in a family car.
Chicago Transport now derives most of its business from Midwest agricultural shipping.
New government study finds cement to be the longest-lasting surface for highways.
Folds announces that it will outsource car paint production to independent suppliers.
Environmentalists complain that national highways will increase consumption of fossil fuels.
European industry appears to be recovering from war much more quickly than expected.
Industrial materials prices rising as automakers gear up for increased production.
The German economy is entering hyperinflation due to high war retribution payments. Du Bois Chemical announces major expansion of its fertilizer business.
Strong economic growth could prompt railroads to continue with their expansion plans.
Steel output last week approached the limits of total production capacity.
Foltz still selling the Type L in huge numbers. Henry Foltz says, why change a good thing?
Manhattan City Bank announces formation of a new subsidiary, City Securities and Trading.
Union leaders mention possible strikes and approaching negotiations with Allied Chemical.
3 Foltz dealerships have declared bankruptcy this month.
General Automotive is shifting from a low-cost strategy to one of product variety and higher prices.
Manhattan City Bank announces plans to open offices in every major city to help sell securities. General Automotive increases the number of models it offers to consumers, but prices are higher.
Pittsburgh Steel plans to build the largest steel plant in the world in Ohio.
Various American industries are pushing hard for tariff increases to fight off resurgent European industry.
Drought in Midwest is ruining crops. Resulting dust storms are ravaging livestock.
Foltz announces Type L in colors other than black and reduces prices by another 10%.
Midwest drought is expected to significantly reduce agricultural shipments.
Officials fear over-farming in Midwest could lead to years of poor crops.
General Automotive acquires luxury automaker Caterpillar in the largest merger deal in history. Senator Dawes proposes massive government-backed bond issue to prop up the weak German economy.
Type L market share plummeting, but Foltz says new models are in development.
Washington may amend antitrust laws and allow more industrial combinations.
Pittsburgh Steel completes its major new steel plant in Ohio.
The Justice Department publicly vows to break up the industrial monopolies this year.
Workers warn that new Pittsburgh Steel Ohio plant is performing poorly.
Manhattan City Bank shows remarkable success at reaching the small investor through brokerage offices.
Washington leaders privately worry about excessively high stock prices.
Industry leaders complain about the costs of complying with federal regulations.
Production at Foltz grinds to a halt as the company shifts production from the Type L to a new model.
Quietly, some officials worry about the desperate population in Germany. Anger is aimed at the Allied victors.
Volts announces radical plan to finance a customer's purchase of its own cars with low-interest loans.
Strike considered possible at Eastern Railroad in approaching negotiations.
Economists believe that installment buying is generally bullish for the economy.
Voltz's installment buying plan proves popular. Concept may spread to other industries.
Washington discusses means of unifying the various banking systems across the country.
Labor Department bemoans corporate profits at the expense of flat wage growth.
Workers strike at Eastern Railroad after failed contract negotiations.
Older, smaller European steel mills are proving less efficient than modern plants. Many analysts believe highways will promote national brands with national distribution.
Sympathy strike hits Huron Railroad over Eastern Railroad's labor situation.
Fears abound that railroad sympathy strikes could expand to other transportation industries. President warns railroad management and labor to work out compromise.
Farmers unable to ship via railroads due to strike switching to alternative transportation methods.
President orders troops in to break railroad strike. Workers return to their posts.
First highway connects New York to Philadelphia. President Coolidge will drive the opening car.
Many believe the economy has hit a permanently high plateau and see no end to the expansion.
Pittsburgh Steel now ships 50% of its finished steel overseas. The German economy is still contracting. Only armaments industries are going full blast.
Midwestern senators complain that Wall Street speculators are driving up interest rates for farmers.
Washington believes that market prices are precariously high.
Congress proposes bill to help the struggling agricultural sector with loans and shipping subsidies.
Growth of new customer credit plans should spur consumer product sales. Long-distance shipping via highways proves an effective alternative to railroad.
The consumer electronics sector is booming due to installment buying plans.
Proponents say Dawes' plan will effectively shore up the German economy. Washington officials quietly worry about easy consumer installment buying. Washington and London worry that fluctuation of the British pound will disrupt international trade.
Department of Labor warns that American capital may relocate to nations with cheaper labor forces.
Economists worry that flat wage growth will eventually slow the economy. American radio company founds Olympic Studios, a new motion picture producer in Los Angeles. Manhattan City Bank now retains the largest security sales force of any company in the world.
Government officials quietly worry about dangerous elements in German politics.
Farmers complain of high interest rates. Washington blames loan demand of Wall Street speculators.
Federal Reserve Chairman condemns Manhattan City Bank for avoiding laws prohibiting combination of banking and securities investing, worries that security subsidiary endangers public deposits.
Congress passes farm credit system to provide cheap loans to the struggling agricultural sector.
First Olympic Studios film opens to critical success and strong box office performance.
Dawes' plan falls through. Investment banks will not shoulder the risk without federal backing.
The closing of the British stock market to foreign issues proves bullish for Wall Street investment banks.
President Coolidge rumored to worry about margin buying and general market speculation.
Capital gains tax thought to lock funds in market, thus explaining high market prices.
The United States is now a net creditor nation emerging from a century of debtor status.
Manhattan City Bank posts surprising earnings with strong growth in new securities underwriting.
Washington sentiment on installment selling has switched from dangerous to economically sound.
IRS cracks down on wash trades designed to hide capital gains in the market.
Manhattan City Bank posts strong earning gains, cites high-interest loans to margin investors.
Germany raises trade barriers against all imports, cites protection of struggling industries.
Lindbergh flight spurs inquiries to Department of Commerce about establishing local airports.
Analysts worry about increasing international competition in heavy industries.
Communist movement is gaining steam in France.
Anti-Bolshevik lobby groups are debunked by Washington officials as empty fearmongers.
France and England raised trade barriers against all imports, citing German protectionism.
Market drops precipitously on fears of recession from rising tariffs.
Manufacturing will be hardest hit by rising tariffs.
Regulators fear banks may become unstable due to losses from margin loans to market speculators.
Washington believes the stock market break is a beneficial development, dousing the speculative fever.
Market pool organized by major bankers raises $100 million to buy stocks to halt market fall.
President holds business conference in Washington, which should bolster business economy.
Washington policies not believed to have had anything to do with the market break.
Most business letters say the economy is fundamentally sound.
Germany invades Poland. New blitzkrieg techniques catch Poland off guard. Investors fear major contraction from loss of trade and general economic disturbances.
Rumors surface that Manhattan City Bank's security subsidiary has taken heavy losses in the market break.
Congress passes arms embargo against all belligerents, easing fears in the nation about entering the war.
Depositors run on Manhattan City Bank.
Federated Oil warns analysts about loans made in recent years to brokerage houses and margin accounts.
Manhattan City Bank maintains it has the liquidity to cover losses and displays gold in its offices.
Congress says the U.S. will remain neutral at all costs, but the president is doing his best to help the allies.
Manhattan City Bank closes doors temporarily to reconcile its accounting.
France declares war on Germany, but its military is not yet mobilized.
Manhattan City Bank will open its doors next week after cleaning up a backlog of paperwork.
Poland capitulates, Germany victorious.
American public is heavily against involvement in the European war.
Russia signs non-aggression pact with Germany.
Congress okays Coolidge's plan to lift arms embargo with France and England, called Lease Loan Plan.
Washington fears Germany will turn energies on France.
Military officials say the German attack was premature. The economy can't support a war machine.
GM plans to switch half of its production to war machines.
Volts to supply new off-road vehicles for the French Army.
Pittsburgh Steel announces new orders from war industries, expects strong demand to continue.
Allied war effort running low on synthetic chemicals.
Franco-German front line stabilizes in Alsace-Lorraine in the previously demilitarized buffer zone.
English war industry rumored to be seeking raw materials for explosive compounds from American sources.
French holding back German war machine for now.
Germans take control of Mideast oil supplies. Franco-British war machine may grind to a halt next year.
Federated Oil announces plans to supply European allies with much-needed oil.
Franco-German front line holding position. Military analysts predict a long, drawn-out war in Europe, with Germany losing in 3 to 5 years.
Heavy worldwide demand due to war is pushing many commodity prices higher.
There's a new force believed to be at work, war inflation psychology, replacing depression psychology.
French war effort running desperately low on gas.
The economy is expanding faster than expected. Boom psychology is at work.
Supreme Court will be dominated for many years by newly installed liberal judges.
Inflation is rising, but wild inflation is not expected within the year.
Consumer Electric CEO retires. Company searches for new CEO.
American chemical shipments to allies may reach 40% of total output this month.
Great American announces lower than expected earnings, citing the war-induced rise in shipping costs.
The British Navy is rumored to be negotiating large fuel contracts with Canadian and American suppliers.
American exports are up 250% over the same period 1 year ago.
CE unable to find acceptable CEO in-house or from industry at large. Search continues.
New Olympic Studios war film opens to rave reviews. Executives expect a hit.
Strong economic growth spurs demand in highway and building construction.
Stalemate continues on Western war front. Allies hope the Russians will relieve the pressure.
New German U-boat campaign sinks 2 entire convoys. Atlantic shipping may grind to a halt.
Chicago transport executives talk up company prospects, citing the strong economy.
Allied steel plants ravaged by strategic air raids this month, reducing European steel output by 30%.
French report that the new Volks vehicles are